Hello and welcome to this online lesson. My name is Mr. Hoven, and today we are going to be looking at some of the foreign policies of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. If you remember, the last time we were together, Harry Truman was in office. Well, now Truman is out, Ike is in, and we are going to see what he does to maybe ease some tensions during the Cold War. Let's go ahead and get started. So in November 1952, the Americans elected Dwight or Ike D. Eisenhower to the presidency. He was the first Republican to win the presidency since 1928. He collected more than 6 million popular votes against his Democratic opponent and carried the Electoral College with 442 votes to only 89. The Republicans also won control of Congress. Again, 1952, first Republican president since 1928. He was born in Texas and he was raised in rural Kansas. And Ike rose steadily through the army to become the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II. People gave him the nickname Ike, and voters trusted him. A reporter was once quoted in saying, "Trust was the bedrock of Ike's presidency. We knew what was in his heart." And he won wide support with pledging to end the Korean War early and with an honorable end. So during his presidency, he worked to grow support for battling communist aggression as a group rather than just individual countries. So in this, the United States became part of the SEATO, Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, and pledged to meet communist aggression together. So countries like Pakistan, Thailand, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain, and the U.S. all made this pledge to help control communist aggression together. Stronger together than individually. And during this time, we had several changing relations with the USSR, the Soviet Union. Remember, Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, he passed away. So now the new leader, Nikita Khrushchev, took the helm. And they started to work, he and Eisenhower, at creating a peaceful coexistence with one another. By the mid-1950s, the superpowers were interested in easing Cold War tensions. In July 1955, Eisenhower, NATO leaders, and Soviet officials meet at a summit conference in Geneva, Switzerland. At this Geneva summit, a policy of peaceful coexistence emerged. This meant the superpowers would begin to compete to avoid war and disarm their nuclear missiles. So, in a way of avoiding war was engaging in a space race. The space race consisted of who can gain the most technology in space first. So in 1957, the Soviets launched Sputnik, the first satellite in orbit, and this terrified Americans because now that they're launching satellites into orbit around the Earth, what are their military capabilities? This scared us. So we put millions and millions of dollars into our space program. In 1961, the first American was put into space. In 1962, the first American to orbit the Earth, John Glenn, was sent up. So we are engaged now in not only an arms race, but a space race with the Soviet Union. Little known fact, many of the scientists that helped get the NASA space program off its feet, or onto its feet, were former Nazi scientists in Germany who were given pardons because they came to the United States and were helping us with our space program. Interesting to think about. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows with the United States and the Soviet Union. In 1959, the Soviets shot down a U.S. spy plane, a U-2 spy plane, and captured the pilot, Gary Powers. Khrushchev demanded an apology from Ike, but Ike refused. Another peace summit in Paris collapsed. And in the end, Ike did little to change the Cold War. We had some promising negotiations occurring, but at the same time, we were still at heavy tensions with the Soviet Union. That about wraps things up for today. I hope you enjoyed this online lesson, and we'll see you next time.